Once upon a time, Iran had a democratically elected government. In the year 1953, the United States conspired with the British intelligence and staged a coup to overthrow that government. But why would America do such a thing? America and the West love democracy, don't they? But back then in the 20th century, you know what they loved more than democracy? Oil. Today, America might have become self-sufficient in producing energy, but back then that wasn't the case. And America poked its nose wherever there was oil. In the first half of the 20th century, the British invaded Iran twice and controlled Iran's oil for decades. Before World War II, Western firms had a tight hold over the oil reserves of the Persian Gulf. America controlled Saudi Arabia's oil wealth while Britain controlled Iran's. After the World War II ended, three things happened that threatened the monopoly of Western powers. First, the Cold War started and both the pro-Soviet and the pro-Western blocs started competing to exert their influence on Iran, mostly because of its oil reserves. Second, the pressure was mounting on Western powers to equally share oil revenues with Middle Eastern regimes. Third, a beloved Iranian leader, Mohammad Mossadegh, who wanted to nationalize Iran's oil industry and deny Western firms any further involvement, rose to power in Iran. All of these post-World War II developments went against the British and the American interest in the Persian Gulf. They were losing their political influence as well as the monopoly over the oil industry. While global powers were fighting to assert their influence in the Middle East, Iran was undergoing an important political evolution. Iran had a constitutional monarchy with Mohammad Reza Shah staying on as the head of the state, where the monarch had to share power with the elected parliament. In 1951, the elected parliament selected Mohammad Mossadegh as the prime minister. Mossadegh's election marked an important step in the country's democratic evolution. He openly championed democratic values and hoped to establish a full-blown democracy in Iran. He used his position to reduce the power of Iranian monarch Reza Shah. On one hand, Prime Minister Mossadegh was openly curbing the influence of Iran's monarchy, and on the other, he was determined to nationalize the Iran's oil industry. And that is why he was standing up against the combined forces of the US, Britain and the Iranian monarchy. Everyone wanted him gone. During the Cold War, the US wanted Iran to remain a politically reliable geographic buffer and not let Soviet Russia gain access to the Persian Gulf. To keep things under control, the US firm in Saudi Arabia bowed to pressure and even agreed to share oil revenues with Saudi Arabia, but Britain adamantly refused to share it with Iran. It had after all controlled Iran's oil ever since the discovery of large oil reserves in 1908. Prime Minister Mossadegh did not like Britain's refusal to share oil revenues. He, with the full support of the Iranian parliament, announced the nationalization of the Iranian oil industry and denied Britain any further involvement. Britain got pissed and asked America, "Hey buddy, can we do something here? We are kind of losing our control of the oil industry and with it our political influence over this region." The US was quick to react and launched Operation Ajax with one goal: overthrowing Mossadegh's government in Iran and installing a puppet government headed by Iranian monarch Reza Shah. The C.I.A. document Part 1, page 3. The director on April 4, 1953 approved a budget of $1 million which could be used by the Tehran station in any way that would bring about the fall of Prime Minister Mossadegh. Here is the CIA's 3-step guide to overthrowing a government. Step 1. Spreading the propaganda. The US decided to portray Mohammad Mossadegh as a leftist politician with a communist ideology. They presented him as a threat to America's global fight against communism. But in reality, it was all about the oil. At the global level, America used #We are fighting against communism propaganda, while in Iran, they bought off Iranian press to amplify anti-government sentiments. Step 2. Befriending influential people to amplify anti-government sentiments among the common people. C.I.A. document Appendix B, page 15. The purpose will be to create, extend and enhance public hostility and distrust and fear of Mossadegh and his government. In most Islamic republics, clerics are the most influential people. They are feared and respected. Even in Iran, common Iranians respected Islamic clergy the most, and they still do today. The US befriended some Islamic clergymen by either paying them off or by frightening them with the possibility of the communist takeover of Iran. When it came to Iran's monarch Reza Shah, he was already on board with the coup to overthrow Mossadegh. He did not like him anyway and wanted his loyal general Zahedi to be prime minister. Step 3. Organizing the pet protest and exploiting the political instability. Once you befriend influential people, it becomes easy to galvanize people and organize paid protests. On one hand, the CIA paid people through influential Islamic clerics and organized nationwide paid protests. On the other hand, they asked Reza Shah to sign royal decrees dismissing the Mossadegh's government and published them in several Iranian newspapers. On the day of the coup, the paid protesters, the supporters of monarchy, and every anti-government element came out on the streets, leading to massive social and political unrest. To exploit this unrest, Reza Shah sent General Zahedi. He mobilized the army to restore order and used military force to oust Mossadegh's government and placed the Prime Minister under arrest. By the end of the day, on the 19th of August 1953, Iran was in hands of Reza Shah and General Zahedi. With Zahedi acting as Prime Minister and pro-Reza Shah army units in control, hundreds of National Front leaders and Mossadegh's aides were either arrested or executed. After taking back the absolute control of Iran, Reza Shah did what the US and other Western countries wanted him to do. He started aggressively westernizing Iran. One example of his forceful westernization was that he banned hijab. Women were prohibited from wearing hijab in most jobs in certain public areas and within the education sector. He even enforced dress codes in many job sectors, requiring men and women to abandon clothing that he viewed as backward. Women who wore traditional Islamic clothes were often denied teaching jobs and working in the government and legal sector. Although initially some people supported Shah's reforms, but soon it all became too forced, and the majority of Muslim population of Iran did not like this forced cultural transformation and westernization of Iran. I mean, come on, a government telling people what they can or cannot wear is just the height of authoritarianism. Throughout his reign, the Shah kept enforcing more and more such reforms until people said, enough is enough now. They also began to realize that the US and Shah was behind the coup that overthrew their democratically elected leader in 1953. This led people to dislike the pro-West Shah regime even more, and Iran underwent a giant religious revolution, also known as the Iranian Revolution of 1979. People led by Ayatollah Khomeini overthrew Reza Shah and in his place established a religious government headed by Khomeini. The new religious government started off by hating the West, particularly the US. After that, the US-Iran relations never really recovered and have always been tense. For years, the US kept denying any involvement in directing the Iranian coup d'etat of 1953. But 64 years after the coup, in the year 2017, the CIA finally acknowledged its role in overthrowing Iran's democracy by releasing 1,000 pages of declassified CIA documents related to the coup. Official admission aside, America's role in 1953 Iranian coup has long been recognized and seen as a major factor in the toxic state of US-Iranian relations for over 60 years. The past is informing the present. Oh, hey guys, it seems you made it till the end. You know, some people complain that historic and political videos like these are boring. But the reason why I like making them is because they are intellectually challenging. You have to do intense research before making them. When it comes to self-improvement videos, they are kind of very easy to make. You just have to combine together. You just need bunch of self-improvement ideas and then combine all those ideas in a one script, and here you have a self-improvement video. When it comes to political or historical videos, you have to read a lot, you have to do intense research, and after that you have to sort out facts from fiction, and then you have to condense all that information into one concise script. And that's very intellectually challenging, and I like pursuing such projects. That's why I make videos like these. If you guys are interested in supporting my efforts to create well-researched videos, you can do so by either buying books from my affiliate links or by sending me super thanks. If you like this video, smash that like button. That's enough for today. See you in the next video.